Hi, hello, welcome to the world of zoology. Myself, Dr. Sai from Zoology Wala. My dear future medicos, in the last class, we have seen what are the different types of movements in the body, isn't it? Just a recap, we have seen the amoeboid movement, ciliary movement, and the muscular movement also, followed by the flagellar movement also seen in organisms. The flagellar movement, see, this is euglena, which is having a long flagellum. Of course, short flagellum also will be there. With the help of the flagella, the organism will show the movement. And this is the sperm cell. So in human being, in male humans, the sperm cell, which is having the flagellum, and this is also useful for the movement. In addition to that, canal system in sponges. There are different types of canal systems are present in sponges like ascon, cycon, leucon, ragon. Like that different types of canal systems are there, and the inside those canals also the flagella are present, and the movements of the flagella helps in bringing the water current. So the flagella also helps in very important movement in organisms. Okay, so we have seen the different types of movements so far. Let us move to the structure of muscle. So this is the structure of muscle. See, there are basically three types of muscles are present: skeletal muscles, smooth muscles, and cardiac muscles. So based on the location, and of course who is going to control these muscles, based on that there are three different types of muscles are there. But here I have represented the skeletal muscle. The types of muscles, I will explain the types of muscles in the structural organization chapter. And now my intention is to make you comfortable in the skeletal muscle structure. My dear friends, let us see the structure of the skeletal muscle. See, this is the structure of the skeletal muscle. For example, say this one. And now, if you observe the skeletal muscle, imagine this is just a part of the muscle, and the muscle contains number of bundles. What are those bundles? Imagine, say here, this is the muscle. I am going to make a section of the muscle. If I make the section of muscle, say this is muscle, imagine, and now I made a section. If I made the section, it appears circular, isn't it? Say this one. I will take another color, so that it will become very clear to all of you. And now say this one. Imagine this is an outer layer of the muscle. This is an outer layer of muscle. So the entire muscle is covered by a layer, and what is that layer? Entire muscle is covered by a layer, and that layer of muscle is epimysium. So epimysium is a layer. So this is the outermost layer, imagine, and now this is outermost layer of the muscle, and here I have represented epimysium. Imagine this is epimysium. Okay, epimysium is a sheath which covers the whole muscle, and now inside that epimysium, let me take a different color. So here you can find the bundle. So this is the second layer, and the second layer, now this is the second layer called perimysium. So this is the second layer. The second layer is called perimysium, and now I will represent the individual muscle fibers in it. See here, now this is one muscle fiber, this is muscle fiber, fiber, like that number of muscle fibers are present, and individual muscle fiber is also covered by a layer. What is this layer? And this is the third layer called endomysium. This is endomysium. So the sheath which is present here like this is the sheath, and this is endomysium. And now let us see the outermost layer. This is number 1, and this is number 2, and this one comes under number 3. What is this outermost layer? Tell me. The outermost layer is epimysium, mysium, which surrounds the whole muscle. So muscle contains number of fibers. So each and every one is fiber, and this is muscle fiber. And the muscle fiber is covered by the second layer. What is that second layer? perimysium, P-E-R-I, perimysium, M-Y-S-I-U-M, perimysium. And the third layer is endomysium. So, endomysium is an actual layer which surrounds the individual muscle fiber. And now the bundle of muscle fiber, see this bundle is called fascicle, F-A-S-I-C-L-E, fascicle. And now let us put it in one format. Entire muscle is covered by epimysium. Bundle of muscle fibers is called fascicle, which is covered by the second layer called perimysium, and individual muscle fibers are covered by endomysium. It may be asked in the matching also. Muscle, epimysium, bundle of muscle fibers, fascicle. Fascicle is covered by perimysium. Individual muscle fiber covered by endomysium, like that. And of course, if you observe these epimysium, perimysium, endomysium, all these are nothing but all these are formed because of the connective tissue only. So the entire muscle which is covered by epimysium, and in fact this is in turn surrounded by, I will take one dark color, let us see, and this here, yes, very good, and this is a layer called fascia, F-A-S-C-I-A, fascia. So fascia is nothing but a connective tissue sheath which covers the entire muscle, and of course epimysium is also covered by fascia, and individual muscle fibers that are also connected by a connective tissue sheath, and this is bundle, and the bundle of muscle fibers is also covered by, connected by, enclosed by, communicated by connective tissue sheath. So in fact epimysium, perimysium and endomysium, they are also connective tissue sheaths. And see here, now if you observe the muscle, number of muscle bundles are present. What are these muscle bundles? Each muscle bundle is called fascicle. You can see here, this is fascicle. Okay, fascicle. Fascicle contains number of muscle fibers. So fascicle is covered by individual fascicle. Fascicle is nothing but bundle covered by second layer called perimysium. You can see here, this is the muscle. Entire muscle is covered by epimysium. Individual fascicle is covered by perimysium. See, these are fibers. These are all fibers. And now the point I want to convey, inside the muscle fiber, and now please listen, this is entire muscle. Muscle is covered by number of layers. I mentioned those layers, and now this is individual muscle fiber. Fiber contains number of fibrils. Imagine one iron pipe. That iron pipe contains number of plastic pipes. So this one is an iron pipe, inside of which contains number of plastic pipes. The iron pipe is nothing but fiber, inside which number of plastic pipes, they are nothing but fibrils. So this is fiber. Inside the fiber, number of small fibrils are present. So each and every one, this is fiber, fiber. Inside the fiber, fibrils are present. So number of fibers are present. All the fibers are enclosed by, say this is individual muscle fiber, like that number of fibers are present. Inside the fiber, fibrils are present. I will show you another view which is there in the CBSE textbook. Say this one, if you observe the structure of skeletal muscle, say this is fascicle, muscle bundles which contains number of muscle fibers. Say muscle fiber, the name was given as muscle fiber. Inside the muscle fiber, here contains number of fibrils. Okay, fibrils, which are nothing but filaments. As per CBSE textbook, fibrils are filaments. So fiber contains fibrils, and now the point you have to remember, each and every muscle fiber is one cell. Imagine the marker as one muscle fiber. So the muscle fiber is present like this, but in fact it is a long cell. In fact it is a long cell. So if you observe the muscle, there more than 600 muscles are present in the body. Different types of muscles are present inside the body, and each and every muscle has a specific function, and we are talking about the skeletal muscles, and the skeletal muscles are present basically in the forelimbs, and of course they are also present in the hind limbs, and of course in different places like even tongue and beginning of esophagus, like that. Skeletal muscles are present in different areas. We are going to discuss the structure of skeletal muscle, and we are going to discuss the mechanism of muscle contraction also in the skeletal muscle. If you observe the skeletal muscle, as I said, number of fibers and fibrils are present. I want to see what is there inside the muscle. So inside the muscle, please see this diagram. I want to draw one nice diagram for you. See, this is the muscle, imagine. So this muscle, just I will take a part of the muscle. So muscle contains a number of structures like this. So, this is one fiber and this is another fiber and this is another fiber, like that number of fibers are present. And now I will see what is there inside this fiber. So, muscle contains fiber, like that fiber contains number of fibrils. So, these are all fibrils which are present inside the fiber like this. So, inside the muscle fibers are present, inside the fiber fibrils. The same point I am repeating, why? Because do not confuse muscle contain fiber and these are fibers, fibril. Each fiber contains number of fibrils. Muscle contains number of fibers, each fiber contains number of fibrils. And now let us see what is there inside this fibril. So, this is fiber, fiber contains number of fibrils, and now what is there inside this fibril. So, here I want to show you the number of proteins. Here number of proteins are present. So, muscle contains number of fibers, inside the fiber, in each fiber contains number of fibrils, inside the fibril number of proteins are present. What are those proteins and what are these striations? I will show them in the next view, but see this one very important in the labeling point of view also. Muscle fascicle, muscle fiber, muscle cell, sarcolemma. What is sarcolemma? I will tell. Blood capillary. See, each muscle fiber is one cell. A cell contains a cytoplasm, cell contains plasmalemma, cell contains endoplasmic reticulum, cell contains mitochondria, like that all the components. Then what is the basic difference between the normal cell and muscle cell? Is there any difference in the terminology? Yes, there is a difference. Let me show you. Let me show you. Okay. Now, say this is if it is the normal cell, simply we are using the word plasmalemma. And if it is the muscle cell, it is better to use the word sarcolemma, similar to the plasmalemma. That is the reason why here he represented sarcolemma. Normal cell contains mitochondria. Here also mitochondria are present, but those mitochondria are called sarcosome. Normal cell contains endoplasmic reticulum. Here muscle cell contains sarcoplasmic reticulum. Normal cell contains cytoplasm and the muscle cell contains sarcoplasm. Okay. So, difference lies only in the terminology. Mere means cell, actually epimer, hypomer, mesomer, antimer, like that. Sarcomere. What is sarco? Sarco means muscle. Study of muscle is called sarcology or myology. Sarco, S-A-R-C-O. Sarco means flesh, muscle. Mere means part. Just sarcomere, part of muscle cell. What is that sarcomere? Where it is present? Just now I told inside these fibrils number of proteins are present. So, this is the muscle, here fiber, inside the fiber number of fibrils are present, inside the fibril number of proteins are present. I will show you those proteins now. Now see here, hope so it is clear. Sarcolemma, sarcosome, sarcoplasmic reticulum, sarcoplasm. Clear? Let me show you the next view. So, this is the sarcomere. What are the different types of proteins present here? You see here, and now let me take the color. What is this? See, just now I told number of proteins are present. What are those proteins? See here, and this is the thin filament, and this is the thin filament, this is also the thin filament, this is the Z line. I will tell what is the Z line also, like this, and now these are all the thin filaments. Now I will show you the thick filament with this color. Say this one, and this is the thick filament, and this is the thick filament, and here once again thick filament, and here once again thick filament, and here also the thick filament, here also the thick filament. Like that number of thick filaments are present. Thick filament, thin filament, thick filament, thin filament, thick filament. Like that thick and thin filaments are present alternatively. That is the reason why the skeletal muscles are also called striated muscles. The striations, they are present alternately. That is the reason why this is called striated muscle. Okay. And now what is this line? say there is an elastic membrane here. This membrane is called Z line. So there is a zigzag membrane. Z means not zigzag. What is Z? I won't tell. Okay. So this is Z. This is Z. You know, some secrets will be there in the subject. I will tell those secrets gradually. See now, this is the Z line and this is Z line. Two Z lines are present, and to these Z lines, see the thin filaments are attached. See now. So this is one thin filament which is attached to the Z line, and this is another thin filament attached to Z line. Thin filament attached to Z line. So this is the Z line. Thin filaments are attached to this Z line, and here also you can see the Z line. Thin filaments are attached to the Z line. Okay, and now the distance present between two successive Z lines, this is called sarcomere. S-A-R-C-O-M-E-R-E. Sarcomere means the distance present between two successive Z lines is called sarcomere. Two successive Z lines, successive nearby Z lines is sarcomere. You can see the thin filaments and the thick filaments also in one sarcomere. And now listen carefully, the place where only thin filaments are present. See, this is an area, this is an area, this is an area where only thin filaments are present, and this band is called I band. This is I band. The place where only thin filaments are present. This band is called I band. See, this is the Z line, this is the Z line. The distance present between two successive Z lines, this is sarcomere. This is Z line. You can see the Z line here, isn't it? This one. And this is the Z line. Okay. And to these Z lines, just now I mentioned, these thin filaments are attached like this. Okay. And now the place where only thin filaments are present, I band, is called I band. And the place where thick filaments are present, not only thick filaments, the place where thick filaments are present. See, this is the thick filament, this is one thick filament. The place where thick filaments are present, this band is called A band. This is A band. A for anisotropic band. Anisotropic band. I for isotropic band. I will write here ISO. Isotropic band, I band. I'm sorry, anisotropic band, A band. A band anisotropic band, I band isotropic band. And now see this, A band contains thin filaments are present, and of course thick filaments present. Thin filaments, thick filaments, thin filaments, thin, thick, like that. Both thin and thick filaments are present. So in fact, the thin filaments are encroaching. The thin filaments are progressed, are invaded even into the A band also. And now the place where only thick filaments are present. See, this is an area. This area contains this area. This is an area. In the center of A band, if you observe the place where only thick filaments are present, this is the area. In the center of A band, there is a zone called H zone. What is H zone? H zone is the center of A band. The center of A band is called H zone. And now in the center of H zone, there is a fibrous membrane. Proteins are present in the center like this, and these proteins which are present in the center of H zone forms M line. M means not middle. Once again, another secret. Okay, so this is M. M is not the middle. Z is not zigzag. Okay, so this is M. In the center of H zone, M line is present. In the center of H zone, M line is present. So till now I explained the thin filaments. These are thin filaments, and there is a thin elastic membrane. What is the elastic membrane called? Z line. Z line is also called, there is another name for Z line. Z line is also called cross-Cs membrane. K-R-A-U-S-E-S. Cross-Cs membrane, also called Dobbe's line. D-O-B-I-E-S. Dobbe's line or cross-Cs membrane, Z line. And the thin filaments are attached to the Z line forms I band, and the place where thick filaments are present called A band. That's all about the sarcomere structure. And now we are going to study the structure of sarcomere. Just now we have seen very important aspects of the sarcomere. You may ask me, sir, why we have to study the structure of sarcomere? In order to understand the mechanism of muscle contraction, we are going to consider only sarcomere. So sarcomere contains all the components. See here now, what are the components present in sarcomere? One sarcomere contains one half of I band, another half of I band, two halves of I band. Why? Because this is complete I band. So this is one complete I band. A part of I band contains inside the sarcomere. So two halves of I band, one complete A band, one H zone, one M line. These are all present in sarcomere. So two sarcomeres. See, this is one is Z line, this is one Z line. One Z line, two, this is one Z line, one Z line. The distance present between two successive Z lines is sarcomere, which contains two halves of I band, one complete A band, in the center H zone, center of H zone M line. These are all the components present in sarcomere. And now I am not satisfied with this structure. I want to see the muscle in a deeper way. I want to have electron microscopic view of these filaments. And now let me take the small part of this thin filament, how it is going to appear, and let us see the part of the thick filament, how it is going to appear. That I will discuss in the ultrastructure of muscle in my next video. Thank you, my dear friends.